All right, hello everyone. PPD here again, joined by my buddy and old teammate, Saahil Universe Arora, and we're just gonna have a nice casual chat about Dota, about our Dota lives, and I don't know, just kind of hit a couple of subjects that hopefully people are curious about, and trying to have a good time. The first one, we can be a little bit more specific about like the Dota scene, the Dota industry in general. You know, we've both been around it for a long time. How do you feel about the current iteration of the DPC season?
They made some nice changes from last year because I think last season was like super grueling. I think for all the players, there was just like you had like weeks that you had to prepare for qualifiers for the minor and the major, and then you have tournaments that you have to go to. And I think they condensed the minor and the major pretty well. I think. I mean, at least qualifiers take a lot less time now. So I like that part of what they did.
Yeah, they pretty much like, because even in this first qualifier, we still played a minor qualifier.
Yeah.
But it was there was like no like brand new open qualifiers. There wasn't like these 2 days off.
Yeah.
Kind of makes everything go like much faster. I mean, how do you feel about minors in general?
Minors.
I mean, you didn't go. Did you go to any minors?
I didn't go to any minors last year.
Did you watch them?
I did watch some of them, but that's only I watch like a lot of games personally.
Yeah.
I know the viewership for those are like kind of lacking. I
Yeah,
suppose.
for sure.
Yeah.
In comparison to the majors and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there's just going to be less interest, right? Because the top teams aren't there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't really have any ideas of what I would do, but maybe to make it more interesting, I think they should add like multiple slots to the major as well.
Yeah, the last one had 2 slots. Thought that was kind of better, rather than having like NA get a 3rd slot just randomly.
Yeah, or even, I mean, C got a 3rd slot too.
Yeah, but last year was NA had 3 slots for the whole year except for the last one, and that's when they did 2 slots for the minor.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was kind of cool. I don't know why they didn't decide to do that for this one, but
yeah,
only 1 slot will go. I don't know. I think the minors are just really hard to watch. I think it would be really cool if they kind of made it more like the CS:GO majors minors, where they're both in like the same location, hosted by the same tournament, and then like the minor teams come out like a week or week and a half early. They play a tournament. You know, all the teams that didn't make it go home. All the big major teams, they're flying in towards the end of that tournament, and then they just kind of, you know, if you won the minor, obviously you just stay there and just keep going.
For sure.
And that could make like, there's always like a week in between the major and the minor anyways, so you could just kind of smooth out that whole process and make it simpler, and probably even cheaper for organizers and stuff to make it maybe more financially viable.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess, or most organizers don't really want to host a minor, right?
Yeah, I mean, we went to 3 minors three or 4. I think we went to 3, and one was at like Dota Pit. Like the whole stadium was just totally empty, like all week. We went to Ukraine, but that's what it was like in the Star Arena. They actually had some decent amount of people in there for like the last couple of days, but like we're there for almost a week, and it's just like you're just playing in front of like empty crowds, and it just kind of seems like
a little pointless.
Yeah, it seems like a little pointless, and maybe a little like, you know, people are wasting money. And I don't want minors to be something that like people don't want to run because they're not financially viable, because I think they do kind of create like good opportunities for a lot of teams that can't go to the major.
Right.
You know, the more and more tournaments we have, like regardless of skill level, I think it's just good for Dota in general. But it's just kind of hard to make those tournaments happen if there isn't any viewership.
If the interest level isn't as high, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about like TI? Like TI's obviously been a very good tournament, a very nice tournament to the both of us over the years. But do you think it had like positive impact on the Dota scene as a whole, or like the rest of the circuit season? Because I've talked to a lot of people. Like I talked to a decent amount of people who kind of like follow me, or like kind of follow Dota, and like follow my team. But a lot of them say like they only watch during TI.
Yeah. I mean, TI is like the only tournament that like really matters in a way for like a Dota team. Like, but I think like in a lot of ways, like you can have like a successful year as a Dota team, and then you don't do well at TI, and you feel like your year wasn't that good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how my team was last year, and it was super disappointing for sure. It kind of, you know, it's TI is where you decide if your year was a success or a failure.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because I think during our TI7 run, when Crit was captain, during that team, I think we won like 4 out of the 9 tournaments we attended throughout the year.
Yeah.
And then we did poorly at TI, and that's like, we had a bad year, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
I think it is good and it's good and bad at the same time, because I think like the hype around TI is incredible, right?
For sure.
Like it makes this super important, like
it's
crazy
like the
event.
biggest. I mean, people can like Worlds for League of Legends is obviously pretty big, but like I think people still look at the international as like the biggest tournament.
Yeah.
For esports.
Yeah. So in that way, I think it's good, but then in another way, it's kind of like everything sort of pales in comparison, and it creates like a ton of pressure on the players, I guess, for like this one event.
Yeah, I mean that event like matters the most, which I don't think that's like a bad thing. I don't think like high pressure situations are bad for like competitive players. It's
Right.
kind of like the whole point.
For sure.
It's like we're playing under pressure. That's why we get paid.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everyone, that's it. Universe and I are tired of talking to each other, so we're gonna take a break. If you liked listening to what we had to say and are interested in maybe suggesting some other things that we could talk about, leave those in the comments, and we'll be sure to talk about them in our next video by Betway.